Well, we are at the hunting property. The plan today is to set up a blind for turkey season. Well, this is the property. I'll try and get some drone footage for y'all so you can kind of see it better from an aerial view, get an idea of where I am, what I'm doing, and how I'm setting up for hunting. So I got a big old 2-person blind that I'm gonna try and put up in a strategic spot. I know where a lot of hens are, but I've never seen any toms. Seen a ton of hens. There's like a flock of 30 here. I'm thinking once the mating season kind of gets underway, we're gonna start seeing some longbeards. With that being said, we're gonna do some investigating. We're gonna find a strategic spot. We're gonna set up this blind, set up some camera equipment in the blind to see how everything works. See if I can get all the angles I want to get for a successful turkey hunt and a successful filming of a turkey hunt, and get it set up so that the critters get used to it. We've got 2 hunting stands for deer on this property, which you have probably seen if you've been following along for a while. I got 2 deer this year. I got a buck and a doe, both of which were from this stand right here. Can't really see it, huh? Now you're starting to see it. I got that camouflage burlap up there. So both deer were shot from that blind, and I have seen some turkeys. So here's the blind up here. I have seen turkeys coming out of the woods back here and crossing over to go right behind this stand. That happened once during deer season. But like I said, all hens, all of them, every single one. So we're gonna look at some habitat in here. I don't want to set up too close to where I know they're roosted. I know I have a deer blind or a deer stand, a tree stand, back on the corner of the property that is very close to where a lot of them roost. Because during deer season, my friend Ben set up in there and he actually saw and heard them flying down from their roosts. So I don't want to be too close there because I want to be able to get in the morning while they're in their roost, but not disturb them or let them know of my presence. Good news is I've also seen them, like I said, traveling through this center timber area to go towards my truck, which is over there by that kind of lone tree. So I think that they fly down from their roost on the far end of the property, make their way through the woods, probably a lot of great places for scratching. They come to the edge and they cross the small part of the field over here, come through the center section, and make their way over where my truck is parked. Anyway, that is one scenario that I have seen personally happen. So looking at that pattern, and granted they may not be doing the exact same thing every day, but based on that pattern, I would like to get kind of holed up in some area where we can be sneaky, be quiet, but be on one of their main highways, if you will, so that when we do start calling, if they're not responsive to calling, we'll at least be somewhere close to where they are frequenting. So thanks for hanging out with me. We're gonna hop in the truck and go for a ride up that way through the field, and we're just gonna scope out some things, look for scratching, look for prints, look for sign, and be awesome if we saw some turkeys too. If you're new to the channel, it's a lot of hunting and fishing stuff. We do wild game recipes. We just try and spend as much of our life outside as possible in nature, learning how to be good stewards, learning how to be good humans, kind of trying to live a meaningful life. I don't know, man. I feel like we as humans are kind of getting soft, so getting back out here, getting back to our roots, I think it's important. I think more people need to do it. And even though I don't have a ton of time today, I am gonna be keeping my eye out for some sheds, doing a little bit of shed hunting. Parked really close to where I set up my deer stand this past season, and one, I just wanted to check on it, but two, this is where we see or have heard a lot of the birds flying down, and I've seen them traipsing through this area quite a bit. There's a trusty old deer stand, still there, but I'm glad it's a little bit windy today because I really wanted to have this camera to capture this. I know my wife is going to be jealous because she doesn't even know how pretty this is. A lot of times when you're in the woods and all the leaves are down and then you get a big rush of wind, it's fairly noisy, but this section of the woods is just dead quiet. Kind of a lovely spot to sit. One thing I think about all the time is how easy it would be to come out here before hunting season with a turkey call and try and start talking to them. But we're law-abiding citizens here, so it is illegal to call to turkeys outside of turkey season. They want you to do all your tracking and all your hard work while everything's in season. I'd love to find some sheds from that big old 10 or 12 point buck that we saw this past season. It's nice to come do a lot of your scouting before it gets too warm, especially in Tennessee here, because things grow up quick. Poison ivy, leaves coming back on low brush. Doing it while it's cool, you get to avoid the bugs too. Spiders making webs in between trees, ticks get more active the warmer it gets. Going into dense cover in some of these places, I couldn't tell how many, but I saw at least two white tails go bounding off through the woods just now. I mean, it's kind of nice to know that I know where they like to be. Sorry about that, camera died. I got to the peak of that hill and ended up spooking 2 or 3 more deer, I'm guessing does because they were all together. But on my way back, I found this lovely bag full of about 8 pairs of socks. And spiders and roaches and old flashlight that looks like it's very well could predate me. I don't know what it's doing here, but I figured I'd haul it out and drive by with the truck and find a nice new home in my trash can. So, I'm gonna drive back up this way. I've never seen turkeys on the far side of the property. It's only on the side of the property where the pines are. I think they like it in there. I think they like traveling through there. It's quiet. I've seen them 3 or 4 times traveling south through the pines. So I think I'm gonna try and intercept them put the blind maybe on the edge of the woods on the southern end of the property where I know they come to. I don't know. Let's see. So here's the back corner of the property. It's right corner where it ends. I'll view out that way so you can see. So right about there is where I'm thinking of putting that blind, because I've seen them travel between those two sections of trees. Alright, so let me show you where I've seen them walking. I don't think they like marching through this really tall hay, so I think they like to have the least amount of resistance as possible. And there's this area here that I have seen them cross from through here all the way across and in through there over to that front tree where my truck was initially parked. So the question is, do I set up over here where I know they're coming from, or do I set up over here where I know they're coming to? Let's drop this. I'm just gonna kind of look in here where I've seen them coming from, because I'd like to have the ground blind up against a tree line, but I'm concerned if I put it up against this tree line where I think they're coming from, that we won't see them or we'll have bad shots going into the woods. What I'm thinking is over here behind me, we set up along that tree line, and we could possibly put a decoy out here, do some calling really early in the morning. Uh-oh, there's smudge on the lens. I think I like that idea the best. So, early morning, we set up. So we have clear vision out this way. The blind has 360 vision, but since we think they might be coming from here, we can put a decoy somewhere in this vicinity between the two woods. Call early in the morning or when they come down. See if we can at least let them know, hey, there's a viable hen over here. Come and check out my stuff. Come strut it for me. And then shut up. Turkeys are notorious for being able to like pinpoint exact locations. And they might hear it and know that you're there, but then decide to come check you out 3.5, 4 hours later. So if we let them know we're here, sit patiently, give them some eye candy, a little decoy right out here. Then, should a tom come strutting in, there's a visual. Hey, there's that hen that I heard earlier. I'm gonna come check it out. We'll stay quiet, no calling. He'll have the visual hen. He can come in, and then we can eat turkey for dinner. How's that sound? I think that's a good idea. We don't have great sight lines if I set up here. We can see down this way, but this is uphill over here. But I don't think that'll be an issue because they're not going to be in the hay anyway. And you can usually hear them in the woods if they're over on this side walking through the woods. I just need to get it up so they can get used to it. That, a cat. I got excited there. I was so hoping that it was going to be a turkey just walking right there. And I'll be like, boom, we'll put the blind right there. But no such luck. I don't know, guys, I've never gotten a turkey, so I'm second guessing myself a lot here. I think the best course of action is just to shut up, put the blind up somewhere so they see it. I don't know, there's a lot less hay down the hill here. Shooting through hay is gonna be a problem too, because if you get down on this level, you can see that those turkeys can hide behind that hay really well. Let's see from down here. I do like the sight lines a little bit better, and I can see around this corner. Oh, hello, sweetness. Okay, I'm liking this. Alright, sitting down. I've got sight lines all the way up the hill here. Grass is tall here, but we can definitely hear them coming if they're coming through the trees. We have decent shooting lanes out this way, and if they cut through between the barn, we have decent shooting lanes out this way. If you're a turkey hunter and you're watching this saying this guy's an idiot, I'd love to hear why I'm being an idiot or why you disagree with my game plan here. I'm willing to learn. I'm ready to learn, man. I've grown up deer hunting with my family. I've learned a lot from family, but no one's teaching me this. I went out probably 6, 7 times last year, spent all day in the field and didn't see diddly. No, that's not true. I did see some hens. I called in some hens. Please tell me if you have better ideas or educate me. I'm listening. I'm willing to be critiqued. plan is come in the morning around this way, park the truck up there, come in around this way. Blinds here, all nestled in here. I'm going to probably cut some of these branches off of our sight lines and use them to help mask this a little bit better. But you come in here, and the door is right here. And you sneak in here, you've got this nice spot to set up 2 chairs, a bunch of camera gear. We've got the view out that way, the view out up that way, and then we will have a good view of this area, and we can put some decoys out there. I bought some nice aftermarket stakes that are really industrial and heavy duty, and I'm going to hammer them in because I want this to be out here for a couple weeks before the start of turkey season, and I don't want this flying away on a windstorm or whatever. So I'm going to stake it down really good. I'll check back in a second. We'll test some camera gear inside there on the tripod, GoPro mounts, the whole 9 yards. Stay with me. So this is what I'm kind of talking about. I ran to Walmart on my way out here. Just heavy duty, probably 10 to 12 inch stake that I'm going to beat in with a mallet to really keep this thing down. Figure out how to do this. So this is directly across the way. This is where I'm guessing they'll be coming from. There's the barn, and there's our blind. Now that gap is pretty open right now. We'll get that closed up a little bit. Maybe a little bit more camouflage, but I think that's a great start. And let's get some camera stuff set up inside. See how it looks? Alright, it is pretty dark in here. I don't know if I can get the camera to focus on me. I know. That's a little better. So, drag 2 chairs in here. Maybe even a little table. Set up a little charcuterie. Get comfy. So right now the tripod is sitting with one of the legs out the door. I think we've got a pretty good view. I gotta open up this side of the tent. You'll definitely see more of me then. Let a little more light in. There, you can see me a little better. It comes with these nets too. So I've already hung one up. It's not strapped down very well right now. It's kind of blowing in the wind, but that will help cover us from turkeys being able to see in here very well. Take a peek at what that looks like. So you can see it hanging here. Kind of a transparent mesh, but it's got that nice camouflage color. So let me give you, before I close it all up, kind of an idea of what our view will be like. Got about 270 degrees of view. So here's where you come in. Walk in through there. Right now I've got one of the mesh panels up, and we can peel down those tri-flaps, those triangular flaps, in all sorts of different configurations to kind of see what we're looking at out there. But then here's our straight across. And then here's looking back uphill. Some other camera gear. So the plan is to take my old GoPro and have this set up maybe right down here, kind of facing both of us. It's a super wide angle. It's the Hero 3 Plus, so it's super wide angle. That'll catch all of our reactions. I'm probably going to be wearing a GoPro as a head cam, and then we'll have this camera set up so I can hopefully point out the window and show you what we're shooting at. Getting excited for turkey season. We're on a hill here. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. It's a nice tent. I think we'll be very comfortable in here. And who knows, worst case scenario, you get a nice nap out in nature. Whew. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please give me a subscribe. Let me know what you think about the turkey blind setup. I would love if someone gave me some recommendations. I know it's kind of hard to give recommendations because you can't be here and actually look at what I'm looking at. This is the best idea I got right now, so hopefully it's a good turkey season. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more Choose Legend videos, hunting, fishing, all sorts of outdoor adventures. I will talk to you soon. Thank you. Have a great week.